Hey guys, True Grit Scott, Bulletproof Saws and BlueSaws.com. Hope everybody's doing all right. Trying to figure out what's worth showing to you guys with. I'm just cutting some freehand slabs here, and I have some other videos, and I don't know which ones are worth, sharing and uploading, and which ones aren't. On one hand, if I share everything, then you get to see whatever, but I want the video to make sense and you get something out of it. So I'm going to try. I'm running the 3120 with the steel mount 3/8 spar with the modified chain. This is going to be the fourth cut that I'm going to make on this same chain. It still seems sharp enough, but again, I'm going through this log and it was directly on the ground being wood chips. But sometimes those wood chips aren't as woody or as chippy, and they're more rocky and chunky than I want, and I could goof up a chain when I hit the wood chips. Seems okay. So this little piece of maple, and now it's starting to get less character as I get into it, but I cut 2 other boards, and there's the end cut, the round cut, that I actually think I'll get a little bit more out of just because it's real pretty wood. But this is 37 inches long, so 3 foot long. I think it's about 29 inches wide. Yeah, about 29 inches wide. The bar's a 52-inch steel 3/8 spar. And I'll just show you how it runs. So far this saw's done really decent. I did upgrade to the 272 coil that we sell, and it was a direct drop in. I didn't have to modify anything. And I said it in another video, but I'm going to say it again in case that video doesn't get uploaded, that I swore I gave Greg Chappie a 272 coil, and I thought he had to mod the case, so I was kind of surprised when I didn't. And we got both of these saws at the same time and gave one to him, so they should be the exact same saw, and it should have been the exact same coil unless I sent him a 395 coil, which I didn't think that I did, but maybe I did. Because from what I understand, the 395 coil may need a little modification on the Farmer Tech 3120. This is a Neotech, but this is what Chappie's running too. The exact same saw. So I'm not sure. So far I've been happy with it. It's nice with the unlimited coil that I'm not on that rev limiter. I know I uploaded one video where you could hear the saw. You just hit the rev limiter right away, which is fine. Just a little bit annoying. So what I'm going to do is I actually better fuel this saw up and oil it, and then I'll make a cut and we'll see how it does with the chain at this point. That's it. Oh, what else did I want to tell you about? I marked this log actually. I actually took a chalk line to it because whenever I freehand them, I never do that. And I said, let me see if I can actually follow the lines, which I still can't follow the lines. On the other 2 slabs, I was still a little crooked, so I got chalk line, chalk line, chalk line, and it's kind of hard when you're by yourself snapping a chalk line with a log that's craggy. It's got bark sticking up in weird spots where the chalk line should be. You got a piece of bark messing it up, and I did the best that I could with the chalk lines, but I know they're not perfect, but it gives me an idea. I marked them for 3 inches because generally with a 3-inch slab, I don't have them twist and warp as much as, say, a 2-inch slab, and I don't mind the extra. The other thing that I'll tell you is I'm set up with a big a planing router table, so I could, plane off a board that's 4 foot wide, 10 feet long, and it's not a problem. So finish doesn't matter to me, but even so, I don't want, one side of it to be 2 inches thick and the other side to be 3 inches thick. If they're an 1/8 or even a 1/2 inch off, I could work with that. I'll plane it down, I'll get it right. But overall, you want to be as square, as straight, as even as possible. The reason I'm not doing this with the chainsaw mill is I'm kind of just goofing around, guys. I'm doing this as quick as possible. Anybody without a chainsaw mill or intention to chainsaw mill could take a 52, a 50, whatever size bar you want to run on, whatever saw you can run it on, and you could freehand some slabs. Granted, there's a little bit more that goes into it. You don't just get slabs, you go throw them in the weeds, and in a year, 2 years, however long it takes to dry, you have boards. There's a little more to that process. You stack them nice, you sticker them, you make sure they're getting airflow, you make sure they're not in the sun, you dry them roughly an inch per year outside. So 3-inch slabs, they'll sit outside for 3 years. Then they need to be dried more. That's a whole nother process. Or if you have access to a kiln, you could let them sit for a year and then throw them in a kiln. Or if you have a super special kiln and you really think you could get away with it, you could kiln dry them immediately. But now we're getting way off topic and there's a lot more to it. But if you just want to make a couple slabs just to play around with, just to get the idea, see how it goes, see if you're even interested in doing this, this is a real easy way to do it. And I'll show you, how much time it takes to make this cut. Again, it's the 4th cut on this chain. 4 or 5 cuts, even though it's a short log, you start getting a little duller than you were at the begin with. You can probably see some of my noodles from the last one that I did, and I keep pushing them to the side. I'll stop talking, I'll get this fueled up, oiled up, and I will start a video and I'll make a cut, and that'll be a quick little video on freehand slabbing. shut that saw off. Okay guys, I let the saw cool off for just a minute, and then I threw a little bit of water on here to wash some of the sawdust off. I didn't do that great of a job. But again, it's not the most spectacular maple I've ever milled, but it is pretty. So it was worth doing. I should have brought the tape measure off because I was further off on my lines on these than any of them, and I'd say I'm 3.5 inches on one side, 3 on the other. Give me a second, I'll grab it. But again, if this was a piece of expensive walnut that I cared about, I'd be using the milling jig, and I'd be legit chainsaw milling it on its side, where my deviation on a slab is going to be 1/8 of an inch. Sometimes they're going to be dead nuts. This is something that wasn't that important to me, but I know I'm way off. Yeah, I'm 3/4 of an inch off on the one side, but I'm fat, which is better than being skinny, just because it gives me more material. And like I said, the thicker slabs tend to twist and warp less. And again, I don't have big plans for this, so buzz through it real quick. You got to see, you know, a cut, 52-inch bar, real time, just freehanding some slabs. And that's, you know, this isn't the hard part of the job. The rest of it is waiting for the wood to dry, prepping the wood, and then figuring out what you're going to do with this. So this is just kind of playtime stuff while I'm here doing some firewood. Anyhow guys, I hope the video gave you something. If you can, recommend Blue Saws to your friends, and like, share the videos, all the normal stuff that I'm supposed to say. True Grit Scott, Bulletproof Saws and BlueSaws.com. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, fellas.